Aldine. Them that they haven't run into yet? Yeah, it's going to be real fun to find it.
Good morning, I'm Will Tillison, I'm an IT guy in the group and social media coordinator, which means that I tweet and I manage the CTE website as well. And I support all programs on the IT side, making sure software and hardware is refurbished and replenished, make sure versions of software is current so kids won't certify in old versions of the software. So that's what I support.
He's our tech guy. So any tech questions, we got two guys we can turn to get most of the answers. So we're going to start, Reggie, how about we start with you and then we can come this way.
Great. Reggie Peters, dual credit director for HTC.
And?
Titus Hubbard, I'm campus director at MIT College of Technology.
Yeah, we hadn't seen Titus in a while, since probably since before COVID.
Oh, yeah.
So it's good to see him again. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Lana Mays, supervisor for training and development in the hub for UPS.
UPS, and then?
Manuel Cantu, manager of training and development for the Houston area of UPS.
Awesome.
Gina Henry, the HR onboarding specialist.
All right. Thank you. UPS is in the house.
I'm Tricia Lund. I'm a registered professional land surveyor with Gratian Geomatics, and I also sit on the National Society of Professional Surveyors Certified Technician Board.
Wayne?
Wayne Mossback. I'm with the Greater Houston Manufacturing Association. I'm a special engineer and been associated with this program for some time.
Me and Wayne been hanging out. I think his hair wasn't gray completely.
I had more of it too.
And mine was completely black. You can believe that. You can believe that. Yeah, it really was. Yeah. Go ahead, Gary.
I'm Gary Kruger. I'm with Texas Flight Aviation. I help coordinate the aviation program between Aldine, ISD, and Texas Flight. And that's basically what I do whatever he tells me to.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
He tells me what we should do.
Well, we should do that. You say yes or no?
I normally say,
Myra?
yeah. My name is Myra. My wife Amber. We own Texas Flight. And we're working with the Aldine students this year. So always here to do as much as we can.
He's speaking for you?
Yeah, he spoke for me. So
That never happens in my house. I want you to know that. No.
Those moments are my favorite.
Okay.
I'm Amber. I'm owner of Texas Flight. And handle all the finance, basically.
Yeah, you got to say something, you handle finance, man, yeah. And, make it, don't spend
She's
it.
the CFO.
Manage my spending.
Dr. Metcalf, why you, I'm trying to catch you before you
I
said.
come back and visit sometimes.
Okay,
So I'm from Lone Star College. We have a lot of programs we partner
Mhm.
with Aldine on. I am specifically at the Transportation and Global Logistics Technology Center, so. That's what I do.
go ahead, X, before you sit.
Xavier Samuels, work for United Airlines, and I kind of help with the aviation and CTE program.
Yes, he does. Xavier I met quite a while ago, but he never had any hair, so. But mine was black, I promise you, it really was. Okay, not with us currently is Mr. Eric Bloom, who's our program manager for curriculum in our department, and also our executive director of career and technical ed, Ms. Brooke Martin, who's in Austin advocating for our career and technical programs. They have I think they're meeting with the representatives who speak with our legislators about funding and all the good stuff that we're trying to do for our kids here in the school. So today, our program is pretty simple. If you look, you should be up there. If you're not, you let me know. You should be up there. Gary got me last time. I'm going, how did I miss Texas flight of all people? Right? How did I miss them? Hey, Ms. Smith. Ms. Smith, tell us who you are, sir, before you have a seat and grab your lunch.
Lionel Smith, Program Manager for Special Education, Behavior, and Discipline.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Smith, for being here. And Mr. Bloom?
Eric Bloom, Program Manager of Curriculum.
No, you're good. You got a lot going on like the rest of us, so I get it. I did introduce you, but you did it better. So today, we are going to discuss, we've had intros. You guys are just about done with lunch, right? Close? Except for Mr. Bloom and Jill and X and Lionel. Y'all need to grab your lunch. Let me quickly go through what, these are some of the non-negotiables that Career and Tech has on board. These are some things that we have to do. It's kind of our calling. In a lot of our meetings with the teaching and learning department, they talk about our why. Why do you do what you do at your particular company in your chosen vocation? What is your why? What gets you up in the morning? But why do people not have to chase you around and do your job, and nobody has to remind you and remind you and remind you? You do what you do because it's your why. And so we talk about that. Well, here's one of the things that is, these are our whys right here. These are mission critical. They're in our frontal lobe, that template that keeps your cognition. I got to do this today. I got to do this today. We want our kids leaving, going to high school, not undecided, willy-nilly, playing around, not knowing exactly what they're doing. We're wanting to get them focused, at least to start thinking about a career. Research will tell you, and folks will try to tell you, that you're starting students too early, picking a career at the 9th grade level. So picking at an 8th grade level to go into in the 9th grade level. Folks will tell you that is really early. Well, as a child of poverty who grew up in poverty with nobody in my house to tell me what I should do as far as a career is concerned, I can tell you anecdotally that's not true. A kid that doesn't have exposure needs more options and to be exposed to more to figure things out than folks who are from more affluent families who have experience on their side. So we want them to leave with a program of study. It does two great things. They decide what they want to do. Guess what else they decide? They decide what they don't want to do. Because when they get in 9th grade and they start taking those courses, I want to be an engineer, and they get introduced to Algebra 2, and then you got to go to pre-cal, you got to go to AP Physics. They decide, I don't think I want to be an engineer. I think I want to do something a little different. I may be an engineer in tech, but I may not want to be an engineer. This helps our students to level set, to see what it is that I'm going to be able to do. Can I do this? We're here along the way to say, hey, yeah, you can, but you got to do some stuff to get there. Nobody's going to give it to you. You're going to have to work real hard to do this, but you can do it. It all depends on you. We want to make certain that our students have the opportunity. Business and industry certs, licensures that will put them ahead of everybody that walks into the employment office, ahead of them. they will have some credentials by which they can present to say, I know how to do these things, and here's the credentialing that says I do. Our superintendent had a goal a couple of years ago, maybe 3, that all of our students, at that time, I think it's 9 hours now, she wants all of our students to graduate with at least 9 dual credit hours. What that does is lower the amount of money that they'll owe when they go to college and have to pay for things. So we're trying to make certain that they don't have to pay for too much stuff. They can earn as much dual credit as possible here at our campuses, and that's one of the things we push. We want to make certain they get exposed to the career that they think they've chosen. You want to be in logistics, you want to be in medicine, you want to be in surveying, you want to fly a plane, okay? We want to put you in that environment so that you can really determine, okay, I can do this, maybe I can't do this. And then we give them experiences that they may not have through our CTSOs, our Career and Tech Student Organizations, where they get a chance to go through progressive events, regional, state, national levels if they qualify, and to compete against their peers from around the state. So all these things happen for students that are in our career and technical ed courses. Many of them, most of us in this room have taught, all of the program directors have taught students and taken them out of town. Many of them, first time they've ordered off of a menu. First time they put a napkin across their lap, eating off of a porcelain or china plate. It's a great experience to see a kid figure out what's going on around them and ask the kid, what'd you order? Oh, daughter, what are we doing? You say, guys, it's okay. You like chicken? Okay, order this one. It's a great way to expose them to things that they normally would not see. So these are some of the reasons why we do what we do. Certifications, I think I've gone through these with you before. This is when we should start seeing them. It's about that time. If you look in March, a bunch of the Adobe things, our logistics kids in April, our hospitality and CAD kids, and then we still got some Part 107 kids for the drone pilot that may be certifying. April, more health science and office, OSHA kind of things, and then our medical things again. May, we should have some guys probably ready to get their private pilot license. We're going to be excited about that. We got 3 in the queue, and we're hoping to get all 3 of them through. And then, as you can see, about that time, school is about over, and they get a little breather before they get ready to come back for August. So you had a chance to, should have got a chance to see the minutes. They were here, and the minutes and an agenda. So if you would, I'm sure you looked over it already, but if you have, I would really like a motion, entertain a motion to accept those minutes, and we will be official, and all of my ag friends who are serious about Robert's Rules of Order will not fuss at me because we didn't follow parliamentary procedure. Well, those ag people will get you if you don't follow Robert's Rules of Order, man. And I was an ag student, so I know. People always laugh and say, so how do you make a motion? I said, well, I can tell you this. You do not make one by saying I make a motion. Please don't say that. Please don't ever say that. Don't say I make a motion. I move that. That's Robert's Rules of Order. And the ag students will correct you if you do that in front of them. They really will. They have a contest on parliamentary procedure. So could I entertain a motion to accept the minutes from our January meeting? I see 2 hands moved and properly seconded by Amber and by Wayne that we, motion carried, minutes are approved. Today, I would like to cover with you old business. If you have summer opportunities, for high school students, entry level, at whatever location, occupation, we likely have high school students that have that as a career interest choice. And so most of you have my email address. Shoot me an email and let me know if you're doing summer hiring, or if you have, I know some of you do summer internships for college students. We do internships for high schoolers too, paid or unpaid. Since it's the summer, it would likely be paid, but during the year, we also do unpaid internships for our students. Some of our students are half-day type students, 11:30 or so, they're done, and they can go from 12 to 4:30, as long as it doesn't exceed 15 hours a week, because we want them to graduate first. They could be on your location working or not working, paid or non-paid. So we have those options as CTE departments. So we want to, if you would jot those down, make a note for me, shoot me an email if you're doing any summer hiring, and then we're going to host an event I'm sorry, I'm jumping down. Industry needs list. So the other thing I need from you all is we're doing industry-based certifications, doing dual credit. I'd like to know from your point of view, entry-level wise, what are your needs? What do you guys need, entry-level? And I know, since I've been doing this a minute, most of the guys would tell me that same story they always give me when I ask them what they need. You know, the owner of the company always tells me the same thing. Robert, I don't even know anything. Can you get them to bring their to work on time? Can you tell them to put them stinking phones away? Don't steal the supplies out of my break room. And if I give them a 15-minute break, could they please take 12 minutes and come back and be ready to work? All those really, y'all, are called soft skills. You know, they're what we used to call common sense, which is not as common as it used to be, it seems. But I get that. But summer openings. Yes.
So I have a couple of things that I've worked with a couple other high schools, and
right.
we have Klein interns with us all the time.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know how to send emails.
Company emails with the right verbiage.
The right verbiage
Okay.
for email and for text. Then I saw your list of certifications. There's quite a few that I don't see listed that would be beneficial in the engineering surveying industry. The Part 107 is great, but MicroStation, AutoCAD, Civil 3D, CST, things. But the basics is knowing how to send a text in a company setting, and email in a company setting. That it's horrible.
Using the correct grammar and
Yes.
I'm sure punctuation and verbiage. Don't send it like you talk to your friends.
And the tone, yes.
Yeah, and the tone.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. From the surveyors, UPS, come on.
Well, I think that email thing goes for everybody.
We can do that across the.
We have 400 management positions on the part-time job level. They're mostly younger guys and girls who are in college. And,
Sure.
You know, just some of the communication we have back and forth, and there's just a lack of. And I don't know if it's just grammar or just no one's ever taught them how to type out an email where you're communicating with someone on a professional level. But we actually have been taking the time to kind of coach and counsel them because, some of them may continue to work their life for UPS, but a lot of them are just there to use UPS as a stepping stone to get through college.
Right.
And, when their next stop, we'd like them to be able to do better than,
Right.
what their current situation is. So I think that's very important. And it's also a pet peeve of mine, too. That's why I felt I had to speak on it.
Yeah.
But in terms of the certifications, so after the last meeting, I went back and talked to our base department, which is, facilities engineering, and I spoke to our industrial engineering department. There's really nothing that we can line up, unfortunately, is for interns. However, then I've said this the last couple of times I've been here, is that we're hiring now. I actually met with Coach Culberson and Nimitz.
Yeah.
And then I forget the lady's name at Aldine High School. She's a extremely nice lady. She's a co-op teacher. But we actually hired a couple of their students right before the holiday season.
Okay.
I have to check and see if they're still with us. I bet you they are. But very good communication there. I got an opportunity to go speak to the classrooms and talk to the kids about
Good deal.
And Mr. Culberson asked me, he's like, man, I want you to just give it to us black and white. What you're looking for.
Right.
And I did, and it opened some of their eyes.
They hear a bunch from the teachers, and they kind of blow us off because we're teachers and we're not in the real world. I don't know the world we're in, Well, not in the real world, but when business and industry people come in and say, this is what we will send you home for and not allow you to come back, for some reason I know that makes sense to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're a unique company. We offer some unique items with the tuition reimbursement for
Right.
high schoolers and college students. So, and I was a person who was fortunate to take advantage of it, and it kind of set me up to
Sure.
where I am today. So I kind of have a success story. I can
Right.
tell it's not just a fable. It's actually
Mhm.
happened for me and my family. So to them to understand and see someone that did it, and I came from Aldine. I graduated from Eisenhower. So,
Right.
familiar area.
Mhm.
Right? So, I don't know, it's a really good deal, but we're hiring now, we'll be hiring, and we're actually, I don't know if anybody travels down I-45 South, but you can actually see our new facility that we
Yes.
constructed. We're expanding, so we're gonna be one of the largest 10 hubs in the United States when it's
Wow.
all said and done. But we're gonna, come September, the new facility opens.
Will be
so
open,
we'll
okay.
Adding staffing, but we're adding staffing right now as it is. It's just, our turnover is historically high.
So if the HR, I think you have my email now. If you'll send me where they can go to apply, I'll make sure I get that to Mr. Culberson, to Ms. Morgan over at Davis, and Ms. Higgins over at Mac. And I thought I tried to put you in contact with her to go see her, but
Yeah, and the Aldine and Limits were the two that,
Reached out, yeah,
Come
yeah.
see me as soon as you can.
Sure,
when you
sure.
can, and, we made it happen.
Well-
So I'm open to go and talk to any school.
another option, where we have students who are 18 sometimes and single parents and still trying to get their high school diploma, is our Hall campus. That might be an awesome place for you to go, because you got some folks who are seriously interested in getting a little bit higher salary than just, whatever they're doing to make ends meet, that are a little bit more serious about working than maybe somebody who's just looking for a summer job.
And-
So I'll put you in contact with that campus as well.
And, in terms of pay, so, we're very competitive
Mhm.
as in per hour pay. The only issue is, if some of these students said they were working almost full-time hours, which kind of was hard to believe. But, like, there was one gentleman, he told, I forgot where he told me where he's making like $13.20. We start him off at $15 plus, sometimes 16.
Yeah.
And he was like, can I come there? And he's like, how many hours am I working? And I was like, probably get like 25 hours. It's a part-time job. I want you to understand it's a part-time job.
Yes.
And he's like, well, I'm getting 35 over here, so I make more. And I was like, well, what are you going to do whenever you graduate? He was going to graduate, this year. He's like, well, I want to go to school. And I was like, you need to come and be with us. You need to, the faculty, how this works. And I think that's another thing too, is that, and I see it at home. My own daughter, I'm a sophomore in high school. They're so, in kids these days, their vision is just here instead of way along the line. It's like, what can you do for me now instead of what can you do for
Right.
me in a year or 2 years? What can I get out of it now instead of what can I get for it in a year or 4 years?
Yeah.
So maybe that's something.
What I can tell you is, I wish when I was 16 or 17, I thought like I did when I was 30, but
Right.
future was Friday night, man. Homecoming, baby. I'm gonna be walking homecoming queen. Hey, here we go. I'll just be honest with you, that's what it was. So I thought about going to college, but 3 years into college, probably not. Now, Mr. Gary was going to UT, so he probably was already had his degree planned out. I did not. But we certainly will, Ryan, did I see your hand? No? I'm sorry. Nope. I thought you were getting ready to say something. Nope. So as far as these opportunities for summer, I appreciate, I got that noted too. Communication skills are key. I will share this with our T&I people who prepare kids to go out into the workforce, our 2-year programs, and then, all of our teachers in general, that this is something we need to look at. It used to be a real high priority in our programs. It's called the Secretary's Commission on Acquiring Necessary Skills, SCANS, and it was all the things that you mentioned: how to send an email, how you address, a supervisor or a colleague, the tone of language that you use. Don't use all caps. You shout. All those kind of things that they apply in text messages and also in emails. You don't use lingo. You use professional language. So that's something we used to cover. It may be something we need to look at. Tapping our teachers on the knuckles and say, hey guys, we need to circle back and make sure we're incorporating these into our lessons. Anybody else on that industry needs list? Yes, ma'am.
So we have an opportunity, I'm here with Jeff
Programs This Works.
Yes.
And
Mhm.
we have an opportunity, our application is actually currently open, so when you guys were talking about not knowing how to write emails or text messages, that is part of our program. So our application is open right now. Our deadline is March 24th, so the Friday after they come back from spring break. And we provide professional development skills training throughout the summer program for rising seniors, so the end of junior year this summer. And then throughout their entire senior year, we provide corporate internships. And it is a paid internship, so you would get paid every 2 weeks. So that is another opportunity that is available. Currently, we partner with NIMIX, Aldine, MacArthur. We're working on Blanton CTE. We got into Davis, and we're working on Eisenhower as well.
Who'd you contact at Blanton?
At Blanton, actually, one of the CTE teachers reached out to me, Miss Malgadora.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've been going back and forth, but she still hasn't been able to get approval from the principal. So that's kind of what we're waiting on to continue recruiting there.
Okay. We'll talk. Yeah.
And so the other thing is, for the internships, it's not necessarily just our company.
Mm-hmm.
Generally, what the other schools do is go through the local chapter
Yep.
of the society.
Gotcha.
Because I know that Klein, San Antonio, all those, they've got internships at TxDOT, Harris County Flood Control District. All
Sure.
of those students that are in the programs, the society helps place them.
Awesome.
And helps get them somewhere.
Okay.
And those are usually paid. I know when they work for us during the summer, they have the option. Some of them want to work a full 40 hours, and they do. Some of them are taking summer classes.
Sure.
So they work 3 days a week too. It's kind of flexible to
Okay.
them.
Okay.
But because we start early in the morning, they're off early in the afternoon,
Yeah.
so they have plenty of time to do other stuff. And then during the school year, we also, along with some of the other companies and other agencies that have departments, they have paid internships as well. And we generally, in industry-wide, start between $18 and $20 an hour, even for our interns, depending on which certifications they have.
Right. Okay. Brain is not as spongy as it used to be, so I better write that down before I forget. All right, so under new business, wanted to tell you about 2 things that are happening coming up this year, and then also scheduled for next year. I'll get more information about the 23-24 event. But we have a hiring fair, the C3 Construction Career Collaborative, hence the C3, is going to host a hiring event in Aldine May 3rd for our graduating seniors. There will be employers from across the construction, engineering, likely some light manufacturing that will be present to hire seniors. Not a career fair, a job fair. They're looking for people to come to work. And so our students that are in our skill-specific programs will have an opportunity to sit in front of some folks who are actually making some decisions, hiring managers, and find themselves some summer employment. So if that's something that you might be interested in, if you have my email address, or I can put it up on the screen before you leave to make certain that you can shoot me information that I might forward it on to those individuals. It'll be at our Campbell Center building, so it's not an issue. They normally have a pretty good turnout, so if you're interested, if that's something you're interested in, let me know so I can reserve you a spot with them as well and let them know you want to participate. They should not charge you because I'm not charging them to use our building. So there's no cost for the location because they're going to be helping Aldine kids. Now, some other kids will, other districts will likely bring some kids over, and so you won't just be having an opportunity to pick the litter of Aldine. There'll be some other neighboring districts that will also partner with them, and they'll come over, and there'll be some of their kids here as well to interview. So that event will happen May 3rd, so let me know if there's something you want to be a part of. And then 23-24, I don't know if you guys have seen that picture before. We held 2019, Aldine, we always do cool stuff that not other people do. we try to stay ahead of the curve. We did a Women in Construction event. And this event was run, planned by presenters, recruiters, female from the construction industry, soup to nuts. Many female-owned companies. Now, there were some guys here helping with some of the outside activities that they did. They did some steel hanging, built a brick wall. They connected PVC pipe. They did a lot of cool stuff. Grouted some tile and smoothed out, finished some concrete. And so we had got in the bucket truck and got lifted and lockout, tag out, all that good stuff. The ladies, those are all ladies, all those hats you see, except for this dude right here. That's a guy right there. That's a guy, that's a guy. But primarily, 90% of the people that were ladies. We had 2,600 young ladies throughout about a 4-hour period come through our Campbell Center and on the Campbell grounds to experience all aspects of the construction industry. Architecture, engineering, electrical, plumbing, name it, structural. They were out there, and the girls had a blast. I'm sorry. And the young ladies had a blast. And so we're going to bring the event back. They asked me, were we interested in 23, 24? I said, of course, just bring the event back home. This is where it started. So that's an event, that's something you guys want to participate in as well. As I get more information, I can get that information out to you as well. We're really excited about that. It's a real cool event for our young ladies. And so I've talked enough, and I've asked 2 of our industry partners to give us some information. Ms. Lund, who you've heard from, and Mr. Cantu, you've heard from as well. They kind of go together real good, logistics and surveying. They lay the places out that they got to drive on and put the buildings on, and then he uses what they laid out. It works pretty well. So I asked Ms. Lund if she would give us kind of what an entry-level employee looks like, opportunities for growth for them, and then long-term, what their industry looks like for hiring people. Now, most folks here my age or older know that most occupations where we have skilled tradespeople, those individuals are graying and they're nearing retirement, and we don't have a backfill amount adequate to sustain what we have going forward. And so our job as CTE folks to try to fill that void with people who are interested in the careers that are available. So, Ms. Lund,
So, the land surveying in general has been listed by the Texas Workforce Commission as a high-pay industry in dire need of not just registered professionals like myself, but technicians. And we've got several growth paths that you can do. So in the state of Texas, the entire state of Texas, there are currently only 1,943 registered land surveyors. Compared that to engineers, how many engineers are there? There's just civil engineers probably. There's a whole lot more than that.
Oh, yeah, it's at least twice. In fact, the other statistic, because I have to take remedial training every year they publish some statistics, and the land surveyors are basically flat. They're not growing.
wow.
Where the
Yes,
engineers are still going on.
That was very true a few years ago, but we've been working very hard. I can tell you, I sit on multiple committees, both locally, statewide, and nationally, and I work with multiple schools, El Paso, City of San Antonio School District, or San Antonio ISD, Dallas, and a couple of the colleges to get stuff going. And the board that I sit on is the National Testing Board, where they have a certification program, level 1 through level 4. Level 1 is an entry level, so it combines, when you apply for this test, you take your formal education hours, and you can add them to your actual on-the-job training, whether or not you have any. It's set up specifically for programs like this, to where you can get that, there's a whole formula, but you can get 1.5 years of formal education, which is usually your junior, senior year, and then 3 to 6 months, which is usually 2 summers, your junior and your senior year summer internship, or even your sophomore and junior year internship, you should be ready to pass level 1. Then level 2, you can take level 2 and get an additional bump in pay, usually a year or 2 later after you have a little bit more industry experience on the hand. And you can go all the way up to level 4. Level 4 is if you decide you only want to be a technician and you don't want to go the path of licensure, or you didn't finish enough college hours, because you do. We just changed the law in the legislature last go round, so you no longer have to have a 4-year degree, but you do have to have a 2-year degree to go through the path for licensure to become a registered surveyor. That's why a lot of the high schools are partnering and moving to where they can get that. We're also in front of legislature right now to decouple the exams from their schooling, so they can. If I just finish taking a bunch of classes, it's much easier for me to go take the test and then go get my experience and my clock to count for my experience. And I'm getting paid for it. I think the engineers have decoupled many years ago, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they did.
So surveying is looking to do that. But back to the growing, so we're at less than 2,000 in the entire state. You brought up women, I'm glad you did, because there's only 86 women in the entire state of Texas that are registered. I was number 24, and I was registered in 2006. Wow. And 24 to now, that's all we've gotten. And that biggest jump has been since 2019. I'm also very active in involving minorities as a whole, women, and as well as Hispanic, African American, everything. We're working to get that more diverse. Surveying used to be a very gray-haired, aging, good old boys club. And I've been fighting that for a long time. I've been in this industry for 31 years now, and it's the dynamic is changing. It's so much more technology. We're the oldest profession, well, second oldest. I'm not going to tell you what the first one is, but we are the second oldest profession. I mean, we've been around forever. An engineer can't do their work without us, right? An architect can't. None of that. We're usually the first ones in and the last ones out. So there is a high need for qualified field technicians, office technicians. Usually the tech is what gets the students because we're flying drones, so they need the Part 107 licenses. We're flying drones, we're using high-def scanners, we're putting together 3D models and all sorts of stuff that go through that you have to set up for presentations for TxDOT, all of these things. We're not just the old school out in the field cutting the brush looking through the camera like everybody thinks that we do. There's a lot more that goes into it. For every registered surveyor, there's, depending on the size of the firm, but there's typically 5 office technicians that work for them at various levels. And field crews are usually 2 to 3 people. And we usually have, I know I have 7 crews that work for just me. And then my business partner has another 4 that work just for him. So we have quite a bit of field staff as well. They need to be good in math and their techs, and the certifications help them along the way. So as a surveyor, you need to know some law, you need to know some history, specifically Texas history, if you're registered, if you're going to work in Texas. The business, you need to have a business aspect, but you need to want to work with technology, but also want to work outside. Right. Or inside. I mean, I have the pick. I could be inside or outside. It depends on the day of the week. Being registered, I get to choose which one I want to do a little bit more. Our salaries, like I said, in the Houston area, Houston market with 0 experience, they're generally starting around $18 to $20 an hour. Once they get the CST level 1 or the CST level, it's usually about $2 an hour more than what it is if you don't have those certifications. So that's why a lot of the schools are bringing those into play. And then once you become registered, some of us, not me, but some of us are making $300,000-$400,000 a year. So, but I don't know a registered surveyor that's not in the 6 figures. even most technicians, most drone pilots and LiDAR techs are making in the six figures. But we are in desperate need. Our staff is working ourselves to the bone most of the time because we can't fill those positions quick enough. Not just the registered positions, but the technical positions.
Wow.
So.
Wow. So tell me this, from entry level to registered, I'm a go-getter. What am I looking at? I'm a poor guy. I got to work while I'm doing this.
Well, I was with you. I worked
Yeah,
my
yeah,
way up.
yeah.
I came from the east side of San Antonio, didn't have nothing, and had to work my way
Yeah,
up. That's why I've been
yeah.
in this industry so long. But, so depending on how much schooling you have, if
Sure.
you want to go the licensure path, you must have an associate's degree.
Okay.
With 32 hours in acceptable courses.
Okay.
There is a great program, a land surveying program at Lone Star
Oh, yeah,
College.
yeah.
They have a great land surveying program. Adam Salazar is, I think he's new to that position relatively, but I've been dealing with him for a while.
Okay.
You need that associate's program. If you get that in 2 years, you could take your SIT, which is a surveyor and training test. Knock on wood, we get that decoupled in this session. You take that test, then you have to go through like an apprenticeship program.
Sure.
Right now, it's 2 years.
Okay.
It's in the legislature to change that to 3.5 years.
Okay.
And then you could sit for the second part of your exam, which is your registered test.
So one of my P-Tech kids that graduates from Carver High School got their associate, the level 1. We're talking worst case scenario. They apply themselves and do what they need to do. Keep your nose clean. 3.5 years, you could be registered.
Yes.
Okay, you're all of 21, 22 years old.
Yes.
Okay. So, and that's the kind of opportunities we're trying to create for our kids. That's a life changer, guys. That's not okay, I'm doing a little bit better. No. That's a life. I didn't see it. Trish just told us 6 figures just a text if you're taking care of your business. So thank you for enlightening us with this information. Ladies and gents, this is what we attempt to do for our students. These are the kind of things we want to do. Manuel, come on. And now Manuel's our testimony because he's an Aldine grad. And he and I met 3, 4, so many years ago. And I found out he's an Aldine grad. I said, man, you got to come and talk to us, man. And he's been in the schools recruiting, trying to tell the good word of what it is that students can find out when they get to UPS. And if they just take care of business, there are great opportunities for them.
All right, well, thank you for all the information on that. I don't have anything near as enlightening or scripted as that.
Oh, yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
So thank you for having me up here, and thank you all for listening. So the unique thing about UPS is 90% of the folks we hire, we promote and hire from within. There are several jobs that we just cannot fill from within, so we outsource, but 90% of the folks that work at UPS, they're hired from within. The CEO was outsourced. Carol Tomei is our CEO. She used to be at Home Depot. Now she's with UPS. She's done great things. Fantastic lady. Previous CPOs worked their way up through UPS, so kind of unique in a way. But let's get to here. What we're looking for in the Houston area is entry-level jobs. So 18 years old, first thing, you got to be no criminal background record, and then you have to be willing to work, right? So that's just anywhere. So we offer positions inside the warehouse. They're loader, unloader. Sometimes they can do something different, and it's manual labor. It's all part-time work. We don't want anybody working more than 5 hours a day doing manual labor, right? It's a little taxing on the body. And the great thing is there's a lot of opportunity for growth and promotion from within a UPS. So you don't have to be unloading trailers for, 25 years or more than 3 months if you really want to. He said earlier, go-getter attitude. If you have a go-getter attitude at UPS, you can get anything you want out of the company. Anything's possible. There's so much growth with e-commerce. Think about it. You can go on Amazon right now and click buy now, and you can have a package at your doorstep the next day. Sometimes the same day.
Yep.
Amazon's going to deliver the same day, not us, but we'll deliver the one tomorrow, right? So it's crazy, right? Just the volume growth that we've experienced, and we're in an economic decline right now across the nation. In the city of Houston, our volume is rising at UPS, 3 to 4 to 5% day to day, week to week. So that's pretty unique. So let me get into back to the entry level job. So just the pathway it looks like. So you can be an hourly employee, and the pathway for an hourly employee is they go to be a package car drivers who deliver packages on the road. So everybody's seen the UPS package car delivery in your neighborhood or at your business, and you know, for the most part, they're all very impressionable people, right? Sometimes we have some folks that are knuckleheads, but man, it's a very, very solid, safe job. Those gentlemen or women, they're making upwards to 120, 140K a year, and that's with no schooling at all. You have to have, it's just an entry-level job, right? So of course you got to go through a grueling class and pass to put you on road, because you know we want to ensure the safety of our neighbors and our communities. So it's not just, hey, you know, you qualify, it's your turn, go drive. No, they take a grueling course that is very labor intensive and also mentally intensive, because we want to provide safety to everybody outside, not just our customers, everybody around them. And then from there, there's another step. So there's 18-wheeler drivers. We got to get packages from Houston, Texas to Parsippany, New Jersey, or Oakland, California, or Portland, Oregon. The feeder drivers, they make upwards to, some guys are almost getting 200K now, because we have sleeper teams. They work in tandems. So very lucrative job, and all of these gentlemen and women that are feeder drivers, package car drivers, no schooling required whatsoever. So it's just really, if you want to do it, you can do it. My route, I went a different route. You know, I was looking to use UPS as a stepping stone. I wanted to coach high school baseball and get my degree and use UPS to do it. So that's why I started working there. I actually started unloading trailers at the Sweetwater facility right down the road. 2005, worked on the night shift because I had another job, and I was also going to U of H. So, you know, a lot of work. You know, it was tough for a couple of years. I got my degree and I became a part-time supervisor at UPS. So a lot of the stuff we do is part-time, which is unique. You don't see that everywhere. But anyways, we have part-time management. You know, they work, I don't know, 30 hours a week. We have a lot of our part-time management population, they're college students. We don't have any high school students. We typically look for the folks that are in college, so we give them some of those professional skills. We give them some of those decision-making skills that, you know, they need, and a lot of them use it as a stepping stone. A lot turn into UPS careers, as myself, Lana, Gina, but a lot of them just work at UPS, get through school, you know, they go become a doctor, they go become an astronaut, they go become you know, something in, you know, aviation, or you know, surveying, or whatever it is their career path is, that, you know, they just don't want to make UPS their career path. And we're fine with that. We love them. We want them there for the, you know, 4 years that we can get over, sometimes 6, or, you know, whatever it may be. So it's a very, very solid position. Those folks are making like 40, 50, 60K a year. And, you know, it's a very, very laid back, not a whole ton of responsibilities in terms of, you know, how do I say this? Accountability wise, like you are accountable, but not to a high level, not to where you're answering the folks that are sitting on a board or something. So, and then there's just, I don't know, about 10 more paths or stepping stones in management that you could take. So that's the gist of what we offer. UPS, we offer more than just jobs, right? We have incredible insurance packages. Our hourly don't pay a dime for insurance, and it's phenomenal insurance. I delivered, when I had my first child, I was an hourly employee. I paid $15. That's it total. My next 2 children I've had, I was in management, and I don't even want to tell you the cost. So it's incredible. And just keep in mind, so the package car drivers are, you know, they're making 100K a year, you know, entry-level job. Feeder driver making, you know, 150 plus a year. They don't got to pay a dime for insurance, and it's great insurance. It is. We have a phenomenal retirement package. UPS does 401K matching. Our tuition reimbursement program is the most popular thing that we offer. I haven't found a company that offers anything better. It's $5,500 a year for tuition, and I'm actually using it right now. I'm in a master's program, I'm getting my MBA. You know, I go in front of a lot of young women and men and tell them, like, you should use UPS to get your tuition, you know, go to school and, you know, utilize the tuition reimbursement. It's free money. You know, I had like an epiphany one day, like, man, I'm telling all these gentlemen and women this, and I'm not using it. So I have some flexibility in my life right now, so I signed up and I'm getting my MBA, so with the focus in logistics. So, you know, I'm educating myself a little bit further, but also taking advantage of all the great things that UPS has to offer. And, you know, we do a lot of community service. You know, it's a Fortune 500 company. I mean, we're delivering 25 million packages a day. We're in 220 countries, so it's a very, very large company. We're just a small pond here in Houston, but we're a growing market here in Houston. And we just, like I said, if you're a go-getter and if you want something out of UPS, you can get it. It's there to take. So.
Hey, man, thank you, man. I appreciate it. ladies and gents, that's kind of, each of your companies and corporations has similar stories and opportunities, and we're grateful that you would spend this hour with us on today, and thank Ms. Lund and Manuel for sharing some of the information about their companies and the opportunities that students have. And so it's our goal to make certain that our kids have those opportunities across the board in the areas that they choose or they think they would like to become involved in as a long-term career. They'll change their minds, that's good, but look at the awesome opportunities they have to make good decisions as they go forward. X, talk to me.
Question that I have is for the students who are making a selection of what career choices they want to make, say in the 8th grade.
Yep.
What opportunities do they have to change their course correction?
Beautiful thing. Awesome question. They have the opportunity each and every year to change their program of study if they bring parent, guardian, whomever has charge over them to the campus and sign off that I'm changing this on my own accord. The counselor who doesn't like me but likes Jaime and put Jaime in the private pilot program, and I got put in culinary and I don't want to cook, doesn't make that decision. Mom, dad, parent, guardian make that decision, and that kid can change the plan. Now, here, with the caveat, if they're in a P-TECH program and they're in the land surveying program and they get to be a junior and they want to change, we got a problem. Because you have now, they're going to start at Carver. They'll take 9 hours of Lone Star dual college credit their freshman year. So by their sophomore year, they will likely have about 28 to 30 hours toward their level 1 certification through Lone Star. Now, if you want to change now, you're getting ready to start over brand new in some other program. We could put you in an architecture program, but it's not going to be the same. You're in a specific area now. So that's why we do a lot of upfront. Look, this is what parents come to sign up for that program. Sir, ma'am, this is what you're signing your student up for. This is what they're going to be required to do over the next 3 years. They're going to be in summer school at freshman year, sophomore year, and junior year. They're going to have to hustle to get this associate degree if they want it. So if they come their junior year, just know, if you pull them out of this program, they're going to be starting over somewhere else, and they're not going to get the benefit that they would have by signing up for this program and completing the surveying. Yes, ma'am.
So are y'all doing, I know some of the other schools are doing it in 8th grade before they make a selection. They're doing full day shadow days. Are y'all doing those?
They're not doing shadowing, but what they are doing is Aldine offers a college and career readiness course, and they explore all the careers that the young people might want to get in high school. Luckily, I still supervise those teachers. And so they have a special unit for what our superintendent calls our choice schools. And those are our P-TECHs, Blanson, Knipple, Hall, any of our specialty campuses that offer things that the regular high schools may not have. Then they go through a unit on each of those campuses and each of those programs. So they get a chance to look at everything that's offered there, go out on the web, look at the videos about who does what in this field and how you work and who you work with and all those kind of things. So we don't do a shadowing, but one thing we did incorporate, there's a group that does career building seminars. They come to the high school campus, go to the 8th grade campus, go to their gyms, and they set up 18 different careers for the kids to experience hands-on in the gymnasium over a couple of day period. All of the 8th graders get a chance to do it. And so we try to give them experience, not a job shadow. Don't go quite to that extent.
Well, so what we've found in some of the other school districts is you have 30 students that have said, I want to go to this P-TECH program, or I want to go survey. Once they do that shadow day, because they're spending the better part of a day at multiple, not at one firm, they're spread out. some of them back out and say, nope, I don't want to do that. And then you have others that say, no, this is what I want to do. So it's become beneficial for the school and the students. So it's maybe something you want to look at.
All on a duly noted, you just signed yourself for a committee. Matter of fact, we're trying to get that started this summer. Yeah. Other questions, comments? Because my goal is always not to hold you guys any longer than 60 minutes, because I know you got a lot going on during the day. All right. Again, I want to thank Ms. Lund and thank Mr. Cantu for sharing with us, and then I want to thank you all for your time and attention on today. We're going on spring break next week, so I would say I'll shoot you a happy email next week, but I'll be telling the story. No, I won't. I'm going to do like the kids. I'm going to have fun during spring break. Thank you all so much. We'll have anything else. We'll do a motion to adjourn by acclamation, and hope you guys have a real good evening. Thank you so much.
I was